All right, so there's a couple of things that I want to talk about. And one of the things that I want to get into is about taking responsibility. So, a post I made yesterday, there were some questions or concerns to some people. They kind of misunderstood and was under the impression that I was implying that leaders are the only ones who are responsible when something goes wrong. And that is a false narrative. I never said that. So, one thing I want you to understand and know from the beginning, you as a leader, the first rule of thumb, everything is your fault. No matter how you look at it, everything is your fault. Now, the big question is how do you mitigate that? How do you address it? Well, you have a team who may have made a mistake and it affected the agency or what have you. How do you fix that? You're not going to be called to the carpet and your boss is telling you this was a mistake. You're not going to stand there and say, "Oh no, that was not my fault. That was, one of my team members' fault." That's not going to happen. That's not how that happens. That's not how it works. Again, you are the leader. You are the one who's responsible for that. So you own it. Again, from that point, you go ahead and manage it. So you sit there, and once you've been reprimanded, or however you want to put it, then you go to the individual or individuals who made the mistake. Once you address it with them, then now you got to show them how to fix that problem. And also, in a process of mentoring and you're trying to get your team to do certain things or learn certain things, there's multiple tasks that you can create, which I consider, fail safe. And what I mean by fail safe is you have a slew of tasks and certain tasks that you probably know that at this point in time, you may have a team member who's probably not fully capable of completing that task, let alone on time. But it's not a high priority task, not a problem. So what you do, you set your own deadlines. You don't go by your company's or your office or your branch's deadlines. You create your own deadline to prevent it from reaching that point. So what I mean is, let's say I have a team member who I want to develop and I want them to learn maybe a hard lesson or how to work under stress and pressure. I am going to give him or her a task that I know, again, they probably won't complete it in time, but I want to see where their mind is. I want to see how they process it. I want to see what steps they do to help achieve their goal. So here, I'm going to give you this task and I'm going to give you my due date, not the organization's due date, but my due date. And I'm going to let them go along and try to accomplish this task. I'm going to offer them all the help I can give them, but at the same time, they need to learn that they need to come to me. Also, as their supervisor, I also must establish checkpoints because, again, I am ultimately responsible. So I got to establish checkpoints so I can see where they are. If any progress is being made or whatever the case, I need to know that. One of the biggest failures when things go wrong, one of the biggest failures is supervisors or leaders fail to supervise. They'll delegate a task and just make the assumption that it's going to get done. And if it doesn't get done, then they're going to fault the individual for it. Now, as this task go on, and again, I know this person is probably not going to do well, I do my checkpoint, I assess, I give them tools that can help them. But again, I want them to be creative and I want them to kind of learn from trial and error, along with guidance and mentorship from the team members and etc. So I'm going to look at, did they bother to coordinate with individuals? Did they select a team to create sort of like a working group to help accomplish this task? Did they assign tasks to individuals? I'm going to look for all of that. And if they don't know how to do that, then I need to bring it to their attention. They're gonna learn that they need to make sure that gets done. So ultimately, you're gonna set them up for success because that's your long-term goal. But when you have, it's sort of like glass balls. It's sort of like when you're juggling balls, you can drop the rubber balls, but just don't drop the glass balls. So you have to allow them time and the ability to make mistakes and also learn from the mistakes. But again, make sure when you do that, it's not a high priority task. It is something that you have time, if they did it wrong or they didn't complete it on time, you have time to go back and teach them how to do it the right way or put them on the right path so they can get the mission accomplished successfully. So that is one of your jobs as a leader. And you have many. But again, first rule of thumb, everything is your fault. That comes with the responsibility of being in a leadership role. It is nothing that you do for status. It's because you genuinely care for your people. You genuinely care. You love them. I admit, I love all my people. I can actually say that. So you have a genuine care and concern for their welfare, and their welfare comes before yours. So again, when something goes wrong, it is your fault as a supervisor, because either A, you didn't supervise, B, you gave improper guidance, or C, you failed to bring them on a journey with you. And also, did you make your instructions clear? Also, did they articulate that they understand exactly what you mean? These are the things you have to do to help ensure success. There's a lot of work to be done. You just can't fire and forget or say, here's your task. I'm going to go this way and do something else. You have to have checkpoints. You have to follow up. You are the one in charge. You are the one who your organization assigned to take care, train, and mentor those individuals. If you don't do that properly, then when something goes wrong, it's nobody else's fault but yours. But that's all I got for today. I just wanted to drop in, do a live chat with you all. And by the way, say hello, because it's been probably a month and a half since I did one. But now you have it. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me anytime. Ask me questions. You can send me a personal chat or a personal message. You can put the question in this box, and I will come back to it when I read the chats later. But I hope you got something out of this. And those from different countries other than the U.S., thank you for dropping in. I appreciate your time, and I hope the rest of you have a great day.